What Lonzo thinks is a wide-ranging, free-flowing discussion where I offer up my unsolicited views on everything from music, movies, politics, sports, religion, pop culture, you name it. If it's happening, I'm talking about it. My thoughts are unsolicited. Nobody cares, but I care. And if you start to care, I'll feel good because that means you care. All right, and I am back with another Prince review. If you've been listening to my previous entries, of course, I have been reviewing every Prince studio release from beginning to sadly the end, and we're coming close to the end as we will delve into Plectrum Electrum and Art Official Age, which were the next to last two records that Prince released. Now, at this point in his career, Prince obviously was no longer the most dominant musician on the charts globally or in America. That time had come and gone, and I think he had settled into a bit of a groove when it came to his career. Obviously, he was in a place where he's the royalty of popular music. His legacy is cemented. He had nothing to prove to no one but himself, and I think he was at a point where the only bar that he set was the bar that he, wished to achieve with his own goals, so to speak. He wasn't out there obviously trying to dominate the charts anymore. He was well past that point. He was no longer, I guess, the once again on the crest and the leading edge of popular music. He was no longer the innovator. He was at a point now where once again he was just kind of in a groove, doing his own thing, making music. I think more for himself and his hardcore fans versus a mainstream audience. And this version of Prince is the version of Prince that I really liked a lot, because obviously I'd aged with him as well. So we both were kind of simultaneously forgive me, I just learned how to talk. We were simultaneously, I think, in that kind of a simpatico groove, for what it's worth, as far as where I saw Prince at this time in his career, and I think where he saw himself as well. Not like we knew each other. He was like calling me, asking me for any advice or anything like that. But I think just as as a fan of his music, I was no longer expecting or hopeful that his records would go to number one on the charts or anything like that, or that he have number one singles or anything like that. I really didn't care. I just wanted him to continue making kick-ass music, which is definitely what he did. And I think once again this mature version of Prince, and I guess in his swan song, so to speak, he really kind of stripped down his production values. He had stripped down his overall arrangements, and the music was more simplistic. So it was kind of like back to the beginning in that regard. That's one of the things I really liked about this final phase of his life, how he kind of regressed back to just being about the music, not about the shiny production and overproducing his tracks and pandering and just trying to chase another hit record. So I really was appreciative of this version of Prince. So that being said, let's jump into it. Plectrum Electrum and Artificial Age. Now what he did was he actually released two albums simultaneously. And Plectrum Electrum, I'll start with Plectrum Electrum. Plectrum Electrum, which he released with his backing band, Third Eye Girl. Now, a little bit about Third Eye Girl. It was an all-girl band, and I think of all the bands that Prince had outside of the Revolution, Third Eye Girl was my second favorite. These were some tight-ass musicians. The fact that they were females is relevant. They were sexy, they were beautiful, but they were they were a hell of a band. And I love the way they backed Prince up. And he really outdid himself when it came to putting together this particular band. They were a dynamite band. It appears to me that they really collaborated a lot with him on his record, and he was really open to that. And I think they really had a vibe together. And one of the saddest parts of his untimely passing, of course, is that we won't get any more music from Prince and Third Eye Girl, of course. because I was really looking forward to seeing, hopefully, them staying together and producing even more kick-ass music. Now, as far as Plectrum Electrum and Artificial Age, the records were released, like I said, at the same time on September 26, 2014. And they were both records were minor hits. Of course, it's a Prince release, so of course, whenever Prince releases anything, you're gonna have that initial first week buzz, and where it's gonna shoot up the charts because all of his hardcore fans, of course, are gonna purchase it sight unseen, sight unheard. If it's Prince and it's new music, we're gonna snap it up. Period. We don't care what it sounds like. So of course, it debuted at Plectrum Electrum debuted at number 8 on the Billboard Hot 200, and then it fell off the subsequent weeks after that. So it wasn't a real big seller, but who gives a shit? But once again, it was a top 10 record, be it for a week, but it still was a top 10 record. It went from 8th down to 47th, and then of course it kind of slid off into oblivion. But nonetheless, it's a Prince record, and it did generate some buzz in the industry. Now, the first track is Wow. And all I can really say about Wow is wow. This is a magnificent song. And once again, this version of Prince, it's in the Plectrum Electrum record had more of a rock edge to it, which I really loved. And once again, he's 50 some odd years old, and he's still cranking out just, dynamite music like this. And he still had great songs in him. And just think about it, because Prince had been on the scene since his teen years. Here he is in his mid-50s, and he's still cranking out just kick-ass music. I mean, how many folks can go that long in this industry and still have another gear that they can get into to produce to produce music that was to be that pleasing and that cutting edge. Of course, he wasn't leading the way when it came to innovation anymore, but still, his music was cutting edge, especially for someone to have been in the industry and basically heard it all, seen it all, and done it all, to still be able to come up with songs like Wow. And it's a magnificent song. It's a great opening track. And as I said on previous reviews, he always liked to open up his records with a big sprawling track, and Wow definitely is a sprawling track. Next up is Pretzel Body Logic. And love the title. And once again, Prince, he can kick ass with some titles. And Pretzel Body Logic definitely fits within that. And I love the hook to Pretzel Body Logic as well. So much fun. And then, of course, some of the vocals are handled, of course, by Third Eye Girl as well. And another thing about Third Eye Girl, they could sing as well. They had really, really strong voices, strong rock voices. They really complimented Prince well on the records as well. So Pretzel Body Logic is a magnificent track as well. Followed by Ain't Turning Around. Once again, it's a collaboration with Third Eye Girl, as I think all the tracks pretty much were. And the Ain't Turn Around song, it's kind of an eclectic track, and I like the instrumentation, the vocal arrangement, and how they kind of played against each other on this record. And once again, you got to hear it, you got to understand it, you got to like it, but give it a listen, give it your attention, because it's a different song, but it has a nice pop rock tinge to it. Next up is Plectrum Electrum, the title track. Now, Plectrum Electrum, the title track, it's instrumental. It's a guitar-heavy instrumental, and it is kick-ass. God damn, it's kick-ass. Just a great instrumental. Not a whole lot that I can say about it other than the fact that it's a rock instrumental. And Prince didn't do a whole lot of those rock instrumentals. I wish he would have, because obviously his guitar playing is next level. He's one of the best guitarists to ever walk the face of the earth. So along with his backing band, Plectrum Electrum is a magnificent rock instrumental. Next up is Whitecaps. Once again, the girls share vocals with him on this, and it's a kind of laid back. It's not a jazzy type song. It's like a hybrid type of a song. It has a a popish, jazzy R&B tinge to it. Um, that's all I can really say about it. But it's a great song. Fix Your Life Up. Now, of the first 5 tracks, we have Wow, Pretzel Body Logic, Ain't Turning Around, Plectrum Electrum, and Whitecaps. Fix Your Life Up is the one song now where I'm like, I can kind of live without it. It's not a terrible song, but it just didn't move me. Next up is Boy Trouble. Now, Boy Trouble, once again, is heavy Third Eye Girl. Nothing wrong with it. I like it. Not a whole lot I can say about it. It's filler, but it's good filler. Stop This Train. I like the melody of Stop This Train. Stop This Train. I'm never going to get off. Once again, it's filler, but it's good filler. Another Love. Once again, Another Love, just as strong as the other tracks here. It's filler, but it has a nice hook to it. Guitar heavy, good song. Don't skip it. Next up is Tic Tac Toe. Now, Tic Tac Toe is the only song like, skip it, forget it. Fix Your Life Up, I didn't love it, but it's not a skippable song. Whereas Tic Tac Toe, I've listened to it maybe 3 or 4 times, and I really don't care for it. So there's not much I can say about it. In fact, that it's filler. It's not good filler. It's just filler. Mars is a very short track. It's only like a minute and a half long. Not much I can say about it. It's just filler. It's definitely skippable as well. Finally, we have Funk and Roll. Now, of all the songs on this record, Funk and Roll is that one song that really takes me back to the early Prince. I love this song. I love the vocals, of course, to get the instrumentation. It's just a fun sounding song. And I like how, once again, he goes with the high-pitched, distorted voice. And you feel like he's having fun when he made this record. He performed it live, I think, on Arsenio. Great performance. It's a great song live. And I wish that it would have been released as a single. I think of all the records on this particular album, this is the one that had the potential to be more of a mainstream hit, a mainstream single. I like how, once again, he kind of blends funk with rock and roll. And the hook is tremendous as well. It's a great song. Yeah, it's my favorite song on this record, on this particular record. Wow is magnificent as well. It's 1 and 1A, followed by Plectrum Electrum and Pretzel Body Logic. So of the 12 tracks on this record, there's only 2 that I say, you don't have to bother fucking with, and that's Tic Tac Toe and Mars. Everything else, Fix Your Life Up, it's on the edge, but everything else is really, really strong. So we're talking, 9 out of 12 tracks that are really high level, next level stuff. So once again, this is Prince in his mid-50s, still kicking ass. And I think this is a magnificent record. All right, next up, Artificial Age. Once again, released on the same date. Artificial Age is more of an R&B tinged feel to it versus the more rock tinge of Plectrum Electrum. And that's one of the things about Prince. I mean, he's got so many gears to his shit that he can release 2 albums on the same day and both be a standalone work of art. He's just that good. And once again, I'm harping on a little bit, but to be at that age, you would think, at that age, he would have lost his fastball to where I don't really give a fuck no more. He's going to the studio, throw anything down, make a few bucks and be done with it. Nah, dude still cared. He still fucking cared. And he really put his heart and soul. You can tell when he's really engaged in his music. And I really appreciated that as his fan and someone who's listened to his entire catalog and kind of progressed with him. I really appreciated him still giving a shit. So, anyways, Artificial Age is sold a little bit better than Plectrum Electrum. Went to number 5 on the pop charts. It sold more copies. The critical reception was strong as well, and neither record was a major hit, but it did perform fairly well starting out on the from the initial release, so to speak. The title track is the first track, Artificial Age. Nothing wrong with it. Once again, it's not as sprawling of a track as we're used to from him. It didn't move me so much, but it wasn't a bad track. It's just kind of there. It has more of a digital sound to it. I guess that's one way, kind of like not world music, but more of a techno type of. It's not even really techno. It just has a different feel to it. Not a bad song, just something that I wasn't like totally engaged with. But Clouds, I really like Clouds, which is the second track. Once again, very strong track, R&B tinge to it. It's an unremarkable song, but I really do like it. But the next track, Breakdown, damn. He had his motherfucking fastball on this one. He was back in his zone. Probably the best slow jam of the later part of his life. Breakdown is magnificent. And I love the way his falsetto, he uses his falsetto. And, it kind of takes me back to Do Me Baby, International Lover back in that era. Breakdown, it has a magnificent groove to it. It's a great song to kind of kick it back with your loved one. If y'all laying back, maybe just drink some wine, listen to some music or whatever, or getting ready to get busy and smash or whatever. You can do everything to this damn song. And I love the hook. You keep breaking me down, down, down. You keep breaking me down, down, down. Oh, my good. Oh, this is a great song. Magnificent song. Do not miss it. It's the best song on this record. Yeah, next up is the God Standard. Unremarkable. I don't like this following up Breakdown because it's kind of a come down from Breakdown. I just don't like it. Next up, You Know is a very strong track as well. It's more of an R&B sound to it, a mainstream R&B sound to it with a tinge of pop, but it's a good song. Breakfast Can Wait was the single from this particular record. This is the one that had Dave Chappelle on the cover of the single, where he's dressed up like Prince, whatever. I think making pancakes or whatever. This is a funny kind of song. He uses his Camille voice in this, and his high pitched Camille voice. It's an unremarkable song, but it's a fun song. I like it. It's kind of a cute song. Next up is This Could Be Us. Once again, This Could Be Us. Very strong track as well. This could be us. Not a whole lot to say about it. It just it's not filler. It's good filler. If it is filler, it's good filler. What It Feels Like, featuring Andy Allo, it's okay. I can live without it. Next up is Affirmation 1 and 2. I'm sorry. What It Feels Like is a more of a segue. So, that being said, pass it. Affirmation. Let's see here. Affirmation 1 and 2. I'm going off the top of my head here, so forgive me. The Affirmation 1 and 2 is the segue, and the song with Andy Allo is the filler that you can skip, versus the Affirmation 1 and 2 is a skippable segue, should I say? Yeah, I'm going off the top of my dome, my memory here, so forgive me if I kind of mess up here and there. Anyways, I'm going to keep going. Next up is Way Back Home. I haven't listened to this song a whole lot. I really didn't like it the first time I heard it sound. So I did listen to the whole song, but I kind of, after that, I just kind of skip it. So I didn't really feel it that much. Followed by a reprise of Funk and Roll. You already know how I feel about Funk and Roll. It's on both records. Love Funk and Roll. Great track. It's not the best track on this particular record because Breakdown is like next level magnificent. But Funk and Roll, obviously, you know how I feel about that. So it is, definitely a strong track, and it's deserving on this particular record. Followed by Time. Now, Time is a good closeout track to this particular record. Nothing remarkable about it. It's unforgettable. I mean, it's forgettable, but it's not a bad track. It's a good closeout to the record because then we're followed up with Affirmation 3, which of course closes out the record, and I can live with that Affirmation. So I kind of look at Time as more of a good close to the record versus Affirmation. So there you have it. Artificial Age, Plectrum Electrum. Now, my overall thoughts, both records are strong. Plectrum Electrum is stronger, I think, because I think he was a little bit more committed to the rock side of it versus the more laid back R&B side of Artificial Age. Once again, Artificial Age was more cutting edge, more futuristic, where he's kind of delving into some other genres. Where Plectrum Electrum is more of a straight on, more of a straight on rock album. And of the two, they're both good, but I kind of appreciate Plectrum Electrum just a little bit more than Artificial Age. But both records, I highly recommend them. Now, as I've said previously, if someone were to come from the planet Mars and say, hey, tell me a little bit about Plectrum Electrum or Artificial Age, I would say the song that you really got to make sure you listen to is Funk and Roll, Wow, Pretzel Body Logic, Breakdown, definitely Breakdown. Also This Could Be Us. But definitely the winner of these two records, the song that really stands out more than anything else to me is Breakdown. I absolutely adore Breakdown. Once again, I think he's one of his best slow jam of the best slow jam of the last third of his life. Magnificent song. Do not miss it. Wow is just as strong. Plectrum Electrum, the great instrumental. All in all, it's a great closeout, I think, to Prince's career. So to get the totality of the artist, these records are a nice little bow on a magnificent life led and a magnificent career. Now, of course, there are two more releases, Hit and Run 1 and 2, and I'll get on those in my next installment. But really, I kind of look at Artificial Age and Plectrum Electrum as the Prince's swan song. And these both records have a special place in my heart. I do listen to them often, and I highly recommend that you listen to them as well because they're both strong entries. Great music. You will not be disappointed, especially with those stronger tracks. So if you make a mixtape, those are the songs you really need to go for. But let me know what you think. Hit me up. Let me know what you think. Plectrum Electrum, Artificial Age. Which one do you like the most? Do you agree that Prince had regained his fastball, that he was more laid back in his delivery, and I guess more at peace with himself with his records, and he's not pandering anymore. And did you get the same feeling that I felt that this is stuff that he's doing for himself and also for his hardcore fans? Everybody else be damned. And at least that's my arrogant takeaway from it. But I really appreciated the artistry in these records and what he gave us in the last few years of his life. So I definitely highly recommend it. What do you think? Am I off base? Am I on base? Let me know. Once again, Plectrum Electrum, Artificial Age. Hit me up on Twitter at WhatLonzoThinks. Gmail, WhatLonzoThinks@gmail.com. Hit me up on YouTube, of course. Patreon. Once again, I get a lot of responses and I get a lot of feedback, and I really appreciate those listeners out there who kind of stick with me and everything. So big time shout out to everybody out there that's still showing me love and everything. Please subscribe, and like I said, just let me know what you think. Am I off base? Am I on base? Let a brother know. I gotta know what you think because, as usual, I'm telling you what Lonzo thinks. Bye.